video reviewer is for computer-based English Proficiency Test reading comprehension. Compilation consists of drug addiction, Camera, PALAWAN, ILLIAD and ODYSSEY, youth, introduction to poetry, knee and joints, pollution, drug addiction. The literature on drug addiction has grown at a rate that defies anyone to keep abreast of the literature, and apparently in inverse proportion to our understanding of the subject. Addiction, or dependence as it is more fashionable to call it, excites controversy and speculation, yet true understanding of the phenomenon remains elusive. In fact, the area is fraught with speculation and acrimonious debate. Definition of terms such as drug, addiction, and abuse is obviously less controversial than attempts to explain the nature of drug dependence, yet even the terminology is imprecise and overlain with subjective connotations. At its most basic, a drug, as defined by the World Health Organization, is simply any substance which when taken into the living organism may modify one or more of its functions. This kind of definition is too wide to be of any use in a discussion of dependence. It covers everything from insulin to aspirin, penicillin to alcohol. Question number 1. The author implies that he thinks the term dependence in the context of drugs. Letter A is more accurate. The older term addiction. B has not always been the preferred term. C is a currently underused term. D is an avant-garde aberration. The answer is letter B, has not always been the preferred term. We can infer from the first sentence that blank. Letter A. Not all that has been written on the subject of addiction has ended to our understanding. B. No one can have read all the literature on any drug. C. The more that is published, the more we are likely to understand. D. The rate of growth should be higher if we are to understand the subject. The answer is letter A. Not all that has been written on the subject of addiction has ended to our understanding. For number 3, the answer is letter B, drug addiction. For number 4, the answer is letter C, nicotine, cocaine, and caffeine. For number 5, the answer is letter D, the added feels as if he is not aware of his own self and such. For number 6, the answer is letter A, the drug spawns a wide range of disorders like fear, anxiety and sense of insecurity in the human mind. Camera. Like a human eye. Like the eye, the camera takes in rays of light reflected from a subject. A camera resembles life, because you have many settings within the camera that you can use, just as the versatility of light. Taking an action shot is like slowing down a busy week with a rainy day. You are forced to stay inside and spend quality time with the most important people in your life. The bad weather, or even deciding to stay off social media for a week, helps you break out of your routine and create new experiences. Moments like these create stronger bonds with your family and friends, and will never be forgotten. The quick speed of the camera shutters opening and closing creates a life story. Every moment is captured and shows a real person. We try and hide our flaws, but this part of the camera reveals it with great beauty. Just focus on what's important. Capture the good times. Develop from the negatives, and if things don't turn out, just take another shot. PALAWAN. Unique to PALAWAN is its mega diversity. For a long time, only the many ethnic communities that thrive in these islands and a few other daring settlers who wanted to live in unpolluted surroundings know Palawan's bountiful resources, abundant wildlife, and extraordinary natural beauty. The island province first attracted foreign attention in the 1970s when it became a United Nations Vietnamese refugee center. At this time, a disturbance in Kenya also saw the transport of endangered animals from its savannas to the plains of Calawood Island. However, it was a sea accident in 1979 that eventually led to the opening of PALAWAN into major tourist attraction. According to a story, a tuna line disabled a dive boat's propeller in the middle of the night, forcing it to drop anchor in an inlet. The following morning, the divers woke up with amazing scenery of skyscraping dark cliff. Invention of camera. Inventions enhance people's lives. Inventions are improvements of previous discoveries. With technology, inventions are easier to complete. One such invention is the camera. The invention of camera gave way to the first underwater camera in 1856. It was placed in a tightly sealed container. However, when the contraption was underwater, the container broke before many pictures were taken. It was only in the 1980s that a camera was made which is able to go deep underwater without being damaged. Less than 20 years later, technology allowed underwater camera to take photographs in color and to go even deeper into the water. With better technology, an invention will never stay stagnant. Iliad and Odyssey. Of societies are often portrayed in the literature, art, and cinema of a certain era. The Iliad and Odyssey give scholars and historians an idea how the ancient Greek lived their everyday lives. The Iliad and Odyssey are two classic stories told by Homer. Within these two stories, the roles of the gods are very important to the storyline and how they affect the characters throughout. In the Iliad, more gods are involved with the characters. Whereas in the Odyssey, there are only two major gods that affect two major characters. The roles of the gods in the Iliad are through two different stances of immortal versus immortal and mortal versus immortal. The roles of the gods in the Odyssey are through two major gods, and they affect the plot as Poseidon versus Odysseus and Athena versus Telemachus. Iliad was a tragedy illustrating the despair and useless suffering associated with war. Homer's Odyssey was an epic tale of long suffering resolving in triumph. Though there were a great many differences between the two works, there was an underlying theme of love which ran through both. Not just the physical manifestation of infatuation, but the kind of love that makes one willing to die for another. Not just the physical manifestation of infatuation, but the kind of love that makes one willing to die for another. Youth. Youth is not a time of life, it is a state of mind. It is a matter of rosy cheeks, red lips, and supple knees. It is a matter of the will, a quality of the imagination, a vigor of the emotions. It is the freshness of the deep springs of life. Youth means a temperamental predominance of courage over timidity, of the appetite for adventure over the love of ease. This often exists in a man of 60 more than a boy of 20. Nobody grows old merely by a number of years. We grow old by deserting our ideals. Years may wrinkle the skin, but to give up enthusiasm wrinkles the soul. Worry, fear, self-distrust bows the heart and turns the spirit back to dust. Whether 60 or 16, there is in every human being's heart the lure of wonder, the unfailing childlike appetite of what's next, and the joy of the game of living. In the center of your heart and my heart there is a wireless station. So long as it receives messages of beauty, hope, cheer, courage and power from me and from the infinite, so long are you young. When the aerials are down, and your spirit is covered with snows of cynicism and the ice of pessimism, then you are grown old, even at 20, but as long as your aerials are up, to catch the waves of optimism, there is hope you may die young at 80. Question number 1. The most appropriate title for this election is Letter A. On growing old. B. On being young. C. Young and old. D. You can be young. The answer is letter D. You can be young. 2. How would you describe the author as that describes the young generation? A. Assertive. B. Inquisitive. C. Informative. D. Provocative. The answer is letter A. Assertive. 3. According to the selection, which of the following is not a characteristic of youth? Letter A. Rosy cheek. B. Imaginative. C. Adventurous. D. Timidity. The answer is letter D. Timidity. According to the author, one has grown old if. Letter A. He has lost the desire to improve himself. B. He indulges in hazardous himself. C. He has reached the age of 70. D. His child have set up their own families. The answer is letter A. He has lost the desire to improve himself. The selection tells us that youth is based on one's. Letter A. Physical appearance. B. Status in life. C. Charm and glamour. D. View about life. The answer is letter D. View about life. Introduction to poetry. I ask them to take a poem and hold it up to the light, like a color slide, or press an ear against its hive. I say drop a mouse into a poem and watch him prove his way out, or walk inside the poem's room and feel the walls for a light switch. I want them to water ski across the surface of a poem, waving at the author's name on the shore. But all they want to do is tie the poem to a chair with rope and torture a confession out of it. They begin beating it with a hose to find out what it really means. Question number 1. Which line from the poem provides the context support the meaning of the word slide in line 3? A. Line 2. B. Line 5. C. Line 9. D. Line 6. The answer is letter A. Line 2. Which definition best matches the use of the word probe in line 6? A. Definition 1. B. Definition 2. C. Definition 3. D. Definition 4. The answer is letter C. Definition 3. The answer is letter C. Stanza 4. The answer is letter B. Or press an ear against its hive. What tones are conveyed by these lines? I want them to water ski across the surface of a poem, waving at the author's name on the shore. Letter A. Uncertain and confused. B. Cordial and pleasure. C. Melancholic and resourceful. D. Neutral and subjective. The answer is letter B. Cordial and pleasure. The poet uses the pronouns they and them most likely to refer. Letter A. His parents. B. His part. C. His troubles. D. His readers. The answer is letter D. His readers. Line 12 to 14 suggest that they want the poem. Letter A. To provide clues to help determine its meaning. B. To convey a transparent meaning. C. To conceal its true meaning. D. To make its meaning inconspicuous. The answer is letter D. To make its meaning inconspicuous. In line 15, the act of beating the poem with a hose suggests that they are. Letter A. Copacetic. B. Frustrates. C. Serene. D. Tranquil. The answer is letter B. Frustrates. In stanza 4, the poet refers to the poem as a/an A. Letter A jet ski. B. Car. C. Ocean. D. Bout. The answer is letter C. Ocean. The tone of the poem shift in. Letter A. Stanza 1. B. Stanza 3. C. Stanza 4. D. Stanza 6. The answer is letter C. Stanza 4. The overall message conveyed in the person is. Letter A. The conflict of hopes versus reality. B. The guidance provided by authority. C. The missed opportunities of rebels. D. A life unfulfilled and unchallenged. The answer is letter A. The conflict of hopes versus reality. Knee and joints. The knee is the largest joint in the body and one of the most complicated. At the same time, the knee joints swing like a hinge and lifts like a lever. It flexes to absorb shock as we walk or run to protect our other bones from jarring or grinding. Without the knee, humans could not stand up, walk, climb or kick. Every day, every knee receives a routine workout. But the runners and other athletes in high-impact sports, the knee receives a serious pounding. Overuse can lead to serious injury. In fact, 1 out of every 4 sports injuries involves knee. Runner's knee complains of dull, aching pain under around their kneecaps. The pain seems to worsen when they descend stairs or run down hills. To protect their knees, athletes should look at their shoes. Exercise shoes must fit and wear in orders to minimize risk to the knee. If an athlete wishes to increase the time or intensity of his workout, this must be done slowly in a step-by-step fashion. An athlete should work to strengthen their quadriceps, the large muscles group of front of thigh. In many runners, the quadriceps are not as strong as the hamstrings. This uneven strengthen the quadriceps muscles. Many serious runners switch off between cycling and running as they train. Question number 1. The selection emphasizes the value of blank. Letter A. Healthy habits. B. Mental sharpness. C. Physical fitness. D. Spiritual growth. The answer is letter C. Physical fitness. According to the selection, the knee joint lifts like a lever and swing like a. Letter A. Bats. B. Runners. C. Hinge. C. D. Cycle. The answer is letter C. Hinge. The word jarring bones means blank. Letter A. Aching bones. B. Bending bones. C. Attack on the bones. D. Strong shaking of the bones. The answer is letter D. Strong shaking of the bones. The selection communication the theme of blank. Letter A. The importance of the knee. B. The function of the human bones. C. How to protect leg muscles. D. Sports injuries during workout. The answer is letter A. The importance of the knee. What type of text of this selection? Letter A. Literary. B. Journalistic. C. Scientific. D. Academic. The answer is letter C. Scientific. Pollution. The complacent of the Filipino majority may not have been awakened yet to the reality of a ravaged environment, nonetheless the evidence must be overemphasized. Automotive vehicle for one reportedly contribute 94.6 million tons of a waste released into their air each year. A commuter can only imagine how polluted that air that gets into the respiratory system is. Pollution experts are inclined to single out man as the culprit of his own destruction. Man rights referred to as messy animal has helped being about until environment decay. Imperiled by the pollution of air, water and land are not only human lives. The marine species as well as the flora and fauna are just adversely affected. Mass suicides of fishes and whales have been witnessed along Australian and American shorelines. The mushrooming of factories and plants along the river banks have been already largely responsible for the pollution of the different bodies of water. Indiscriminate disposal of industrial waste makes festering sinks of the rivers. Too much dumping of industrial waste renders to water stagnant. Many of the rivers that used to flow along industrial banks can use some dredging, and yet what good will dredging of a river do if in no time at all it will serve again as dumping basin? The initiative has to come from the factory owners. A great number of scientists like or think that the new technology can be called upon to check the impending pollution disaster. Others are of the opinion that few births and less gadgetry may provide the answers to the devastating dilemma. It cannot be denied, however, that man's wasteways call for some measure of discipline. Man's brutality toward his environment will only lead to his unmarking. It is ironical indeed that who was created to have dominion over every living creature on earth should one day be overpowered by an environment he has helped to pollute. The catastrophe can hopefully still be covered. Question number 1. What does the selection generally urge man to realize? Letter A. The threat of environmental pollution to each country. B. The necessity of taking immediate steps to solve the pollution problem. C. The scope of the problem of environmental pollution. D. The steps to take in checking the impending pollution disaster. The answer is letter B. The necessity of taking immediate steps to solve the pollution problem. The phrase mushrooming of factories are used in fourth paragraph of the selection related to factories which are: letter A. Built. B. Destroyed. C. Maintained. D. Abandoned. The answer is letter A. Built. In what part of passage can you read of the ways we can prevent pollution? Letter A. First. B. Fourth. C. Fifth. D. Last. The answer is letter C. Fifth. Who is referred to in the phrase a messy animal in the second passage? Letter A. Fishes and whales. B. Flora and fauna. C. Scientist. D. Man. The answer is letter D. Man. What is implied in the last paragraph of the passage? Letter A. Man failed to realize the seriousness of the pollution problem. B. Pollution, if unchecked, can bring about the destruction of man. C. Man does not deserve to be the master of his creation. D. There is no need to be alarmed of the pollution problem. The answer is letter B. Pollution, if unchecked, can bring about the destruction of man. What would be the likely outcome if we continue polluting our environment? Letter A. Man will be destroyed by an environment he had polluted. B. Less births and less gadgetry will save the world from catastrophe. C. Technology can help check the problem on environment pollution. D. Man's wasteful ways will contribute more to the pollution of the environment. The answer is letter A. Man will be destroyed by an environment he had polluted. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more EPT reviewers. God bless on your EPT exam, future DepEd teachers.